Hi, I'm Melissa, and this is the Book Break. And today I'm talking to a new author who just had her book come out. Her name is Samantha Rose, and let's bring her on in. Hi, Samantha.
Hi.
All right, we're going to bring up your cover, and I would love to hear from you a little bit more about your book, The Very Real World of Emily Adams. So give us a little synopsis. I've been reading your book, but I've only about halfway through. So tell us a little bit more about your book.
Oh, I'd be happy to. Our lead protagonist is Emily Adams, and she's just this poor girl who's reached a breaking point. She's been in a terrible relationship, and her boyfriend pushed her down the stairs, and she broke her arm, and she's just devastated and feels lost and alone, and she feels like she's out of options. So she's about to do something drastic. But and she's considering taking her own life.
Yeah. And I thought when I was reading this book about how important this issue is because and this is in the beginning of the book, so we can say without spoiling it that she didn't take her life.
No.
But I thought about the insight that we got into Emily's mind as she was going through these thoughts. And I thought, it's a really important thing for us to see what goes through somebody's mind. And really, Emily was really struggling with her depression and anxiety, and she was in a terrible situation. And I think, especially in today's world, a lot of people are struggling with depression and anxiety. And tell us a little bit more. So she meets Rick, who helps her see the good in herself.
Yes,
Tell us a little bit more.
So, yeah, he swoops in, and he has this wonderful ability to like heal people and to show them the good side about themselves. He sees the good in people, and his whole focus is to try and bring that out in people because he recognizes how much that's needed in the world, and how that's going to make things better, and how it makes, I don't know, it brings that sense of peace inside a person that, I don't know, it makes them better. And
yeah. And I think it's so important because sometimes it takes another person to help us see the good in ourselves. And I really enjoyed that. And I know once you get about maybe a third in, the action starts really taking place in this book, and it actually becomes a sci-fi, and there's some mystery and adventure that happens in this book.
Yes, there's portals one portal to an alternate dimension, monsters that lurk in the shadows waiting to eat people, and you've got your clairvoyant with the red eye.
Yeah.
And of course, Rick's best friend Noth and his rock band, and how they all band together to basically save the world.
Yeah, basically. Absolutely. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. And so I think your book is unique. It's kind of a twofold thing. So one, you get into the mind of somebody that's really struggled with her own self-worth. And two, you get an action sci-fi book. And so that's really a fun element to it. No, I'm really interested because you published your book. Your book was published by Immortal Works. And tell us a little bit about your process in how you got published through Immortal Works.
Well, so I signed up for a pitch session at LTUE, and I can't recommend that enough. It was such a positive experience to do that. And I met Holly, who is the lead editor of Immortal Works, and she is just amazing and wonderful. I can't say enough good things about her. And my pitch was accepted. And what this does is it takes your manuscript and puts it to the top of what they call the slush pile. And so they get to your manuscript sooner than if you just send it in without talking to them. And it's because they know to look for it.
And I love that you met them through LTUE. And so for our viewers that don't know what that is, that's a conference that happens every year in Utah. And LTUE stands for Life, the Universe, and Everything. Is it everything or everything else? But it's a really popular sci-fi kind of convention for people that are interested in sci-fi and fantasy. And it's for readers as well as authors. And because of COVID, we're not sure how it's going to work this upcoming year, but there's a lot of conferences that are going virtual. And so just like our interview is virtual, instead of me actually being able to be face to face, right next to you, I think it's important for people to look these opportunities up. So what would you say was your favorite part about working with Immortal Works to get your book up? And I want to just show your book cover one more time, The Real Life of Emily Adams. And so it's great that Immortal Works was able to get this out there for you. What would you say your favorite thing was working with them?
Oh man, it's so personal. Like they're really one-on-one with you, and they really care about your input. They're not just going to be like, oh, well, we know what we want it to be, and we don't care what you want it to be. Like I've heard of when you sign up with certain publishers, sometimes it feels like you're selling your soul, and it wasn't like that at all.
I've heard such great things about them as well. That's awesome. And where can we find your book for our viewers so they can go and pick it up?
Okay, so it is available on Amazon and on barnesandnoble.com. It's also available on immortalworks.com, and it's actually at certain select Barnes and Noble stores throughout the state. So like the St. George one.
In the state of Utah.
Yeah, in the state of Utah.
Awesome. Yeah. And so if you guys are interested in learning more about the very real world of Emily Adams, you can go online and search for the book and search for Samantha Rose and follow her on social media. And we will be putting that up on our screen right after this. And I just want to tell you, thank you so much for being here with me, Samantha. It's been great.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on the book break. We'll see you next time.